Welcome, beautiful souls. This message is for the collective and every zodiac sign arriving exactly when your soul is ready to receive it. You have been guided here for a reason. Beneath the watchful gaze of the ancient goddess and the sacred rhythm of earth, air, fire, water, and spirit, the cards awaken to reveal timeless wisdom. Take a deep breath, open your heart, and allow the magic to unfold. Blessed be. Welcome, beautiful souls. Thank you for coming to my channel. And if you like what you see, please don't hesitate to go to my website, rxpandora.com. Today, I'm going to wash my hands in magic with my chakra crystal. Isn't that beautiful? And I'm washing the deck with the magic of the chakra crystal. I also am spraying with my lavender spray. I'm spraying some incense to cleanse my deck. So now we have magic all going on, and we need magic to answer this question from my journal. What can I do to ensure I am successful in my career? What can I do to ensure I am successful in my career? Let's see what the cards have to say. First, let's shuffle these babies. That's one time. I always shuffle 3 times because 3 is a magic number. And we want all the magic we can have. This is the last shuffle, number 3. And let us see what cards I'm going to draw in order to answer the question. What can I do to ensure I am successful in my career? The first card I've drawn is, starting off with the big hitter, the Emperor. Next card we have from the deck is the King of Cups. Next card, another big one, the Magician. Major Arcana card, 2 out of 3 so far. The next card, we have the Queen of Coins. The next card, we have the 8 of Swords. We have the 2 of Coins. And as the last card, going to the little bit more bottom of the deck, we have the Page of Coins. So let's take a little bit harder look at what kind of cards we have drawn today. We have drawn 2 major arcana cards, which is Spirit. We have 1 cup, which is water. We have 2 coins, 3 coins, which is earth, and we have 1 sword, which is air. So we have all of the elements and as well as two of the major arcana cards. So let's see what this has said about what can I do to ensure I am successful in my career. Let's see what the cards have to say for this. Question is, what can you do to ensure you are successful in your career? The cards that we've drawn are the Emperor, King of Cups, the Magician, Queen of Coins, Eight of Swords, Two of Coins, and the Page of Coins. For the collective, this is a remarkably grounded career spread. We have leadership with the Emperor, emotional maturity with the King of Cups, manifestation and skill with the Magician, material stability with the Queen of Coins, followed by a mental challenge in the Eight of Swords, a need for balance with the Two of Coins, and finally, the Page of Coins, who brings us back to learning, opportunity, and building something tangible. So, the message I get from these cards is that your career success isn't simply about working harder. It's about recognizing your own authority using what you already possess, and then being willing to remain a student as you build the next chapter of your professional life. The Emperor. We begin with the Emperor, and that's significant because the first card establishes the energy surrounding the entire reading. This card says, take yourself seriously. The Emperor says that if you want to ensure success in your career, you have to take command of your own professional life. There may be some of you who have been waiting for somebody else to recognize what you're capable of. Perhaps you're waiting for a boss to give you an opportunity, a client to choose you, somebody to promote you, or someone to validate your talents. The Emperor says, stop waiting for permission. You need a plan. You need structure. You need boundaries. And you need to begin behaving as though you tried or as though what you're trying to create actually matters. For somebody building a business, this could mean treating your business like a business rather than something you do only when you have time. For somebody working for an employer, which many of us are, it may mean becoming more intentional about where you're going. What position do you want next? What skills will you need? Who needs to know what you're capable of? The Emperor understands that success isn't created entirely through inspiration. There must be structure around the inspiration. So ask yourself, where does your career need more structure? You may already know the answer. Then we have the King of Cups. The King of Cups means master your emotional world. This king has emotions, but his emotions don't control the ship. And career success often requires this kind of emotional maturity. There are going to be disappointments. There will be people who don't understand you. There may be difficult clients, co-workers, bosses, competitors, rejection, criticism, or just periods when things simply aren't moving as quickly as you had hoped. The King of Cups asks, can you remain centered even when circumstances around you are unsettled? This doesn't mean suppressing your feelings, quite the opposite. Know what you're feeling, acknowledge it, and then decide what you're going to do with it. Somebody in this collective may also have a career where compassion and emotional intelligence are part of their gifts, such as counseling, teaching, healing work, spiritual work, creative professions, caregiving, leadership, or anything requiring you to understand other people could be highlighted. Your sensitivity isn't necessarily something you have to eliminate in order to succeed. You may need to learn how to manage it so that it becomes one of your professional strengths. And there's another message here. Don't make major career decisions solely because you're having a difficult emotional day. Respond rather than react. Now we arrive at the Magician, and this feels like the heart of the reading. The Magician, this says use what you already have. The Magician has the tools of the tarot before him. He isn't waiting for another tool. He's working with what already is on the table. For some of you, that's exactly what you need to hear. You may believe, I need another qualification. I need more money. I need the perfect website. I need better equipment. I need somebody to help me. I need to know more before I begin. And you know what? Sometimes those things are generally useful, but the Magician asks, what can you do with what you already have? You probably possess more ability, knowledge, experience, contacts, creativity, or resources than you really currently acknowledge. The Magician also speaks about communication. How are you presenting yourself? Can people clearly understand what you do and what you offer? You might be extraordinarily talented, but if nobody understands what you can do for them, that there remains talent hidden. Career success may require you to become comfortable saying something like, hey, this is what I do. This is what I'm good at. And this is how I can help you. The Magician says, don't shrink your abilities to make other people comfortable. But the Magician also doesn't need to exaggerate. Know what you can do and own it. Then we have the Queen of Cups. The Queen of Coins. The Queen of Coins means create something sustainable. She brings this reading down to earth. She asks you to consider not merely whether your career is successful on paper, but whether it's creating a life that actually supports you. Money matters. Your time matters. Your physical energy matters. Your home life matters. Your health and well-being matter. The Queen of Cups doesn't believe that success requires destroying yourself in order to achieve it. So, there may need to be a practical evaluation here. What are you earning? What are you spending? Where is your time going? Which activities are producing results? Which ones are simply consuming energy? And particularly for entrepreneurs or self-employed people, the Queen of Coins asks you to understand the practical side of your work. Know your numbers. Know your value. Know what your time is worth. And don't continually give everything away because you feel uncomfortable receiving. There needs to be an energetic exchange between what you give and what you receive. The Queen of Coins is generous, but she's not depleted. That's an important distinction. And then we reach the challenge in this reading, the Eight of Swords. Watch the story you're telling yourself. This card tells me that the greatest obstacle for some of you may not be your lack of ability. It may be what you believe about your ability. Maybe you're saying, I can't do that, or I'm too old, I'm too young, I'm not qualified enough. Technology is too difficult. There's too much competition. Or how about, what if I fail? These are the Eight of Swords thoughts. And notice something about this card. The restriction feels completely real to the person experiencing it. So I'm not suggesting that every obstacle in your career is imaginary. There are real limitations in life. But the Eight of Swords asks you to separate the actual obstacle from the fear surrounding the obstacle. That's powerful. Instead of saying, I can't do this, ask, what specifically don't I know how to do yet? That's a completely different question because once you identify the actual problem, you can begin solving it. Maybe you need training. Maybe you need help. Maybe you need practice. Maybe you need better boundaries. Maybe you need to learn new technology. Maybe you need to have a difficult conversation. Maybe you simply need to try something. The Eight of Swords becomes dangerous when fear is mistaken for fact. Next comes the Two of Coins. The Two of Coins tells us learn to adapt. There's movement here. You may be juggling several responsibilities at work, such as work, family, money, clients, another job, education, or perhaps multiple income streams. And the Two of Coins says career success will require adaptability. Your plan needs structure. The Emperor told us that. But your plan always also needs enough flexibility to change. That's an interesting combination. The Emperor creates the structure. The Two of Coins allows the structure to breathe. You don't have to abandon your goal every time circumstances change. Adjust the route. This card can also be a warning against doing too many things at once. Somebody listening to this may have 6 different ideas and be trying to make all 6 successful simultaneously. The cards may be saying, choose what deserves your energy now. You can have more than one dream without pursuing all of them at exactly the same time. There may be also a financial message here about managing fluctuating income, especially for those who are self-employed. Create stability where you can. Budget and plan. Have contingencies and learn how to ride the natural ups and downs without interpreting every downturn as a failure.
Finally, we have the Page of Coins. The Page of Coins becomes the student again. I love this card as the conclusion because after all these powerful court cards and major arcana, the Emperor, the King, the Magician, the Queen, we finish with the Page. Why? Because no matter how experienced you become, success requires the willingness to keep on learning. There is something new wanting to develop. This could be a new skill, a certification, a technology, a new way of marketing yourself, a new job, a new business opportunity, a new income stream, or simply a new approach to something you've been doing for years. The Page of Coins doesn't need to know everything before the beginning. It says, I'm willing to learn. And that willingness may take you much further than pretending you already know everything. There's also the possibility of a tangible opportunity appearing. But because this is a page, it may initially look small. Now, don't dismiss something simply because it doesn't arrive looking spectacular. A small client could lead to another client. A conversation could create a connection. A class could introduce you to somebody important. A modest opportunity could become something much larger. Plant the seed, then nurture it. So, collective, what can you do to ensure you're successful in your career? These 7 cards give us a beautiful progression. The Emperor creates structure and takes authority over your career. The King of Cups develops emotional maturity and don't allow temporary emotions to make permanent decisions. The Magician, stop overlooking the abilities and resources you already possess. The Queen of Coins, make your career financially and energetically sustainable. The Eight of Swords, challenge the beliefs that tell you you're incapable before you've even tried. The Two of Coins, stay flexible and learn to manage competing demands without scattering your energy everywhere. The Page of Coins, keep learning, stay curious, and be willing to begin something new. But there's one more thing that I notice. We have the Emperor and the Magician very early in the spread. Those aren't passive cards. They don't say, wait and see what happens. They say, decide, create, act. Then there is the Queen and the Page of Coins. Bring that vision into the material world. So your success isn't necessarily waiting somewhere in the future for you to discover it. You are participating in its creation right now. And perhaps the most important question from this entire reading is, what would you do differently in your career today if you genuinely believed you were capable of succeeding? Because the Eight of Swords suggests that somewhere between what you want and what you're capable of creating, there may be an old belief saying, you can't. The Magician answers, you have tools. The Emperor says, make the plan. The Queen of Coins says, make it sustainable. The Two of Coins says, adapt when necessary. And the Page of Coins says, if you don't know how, Learn. That's how these cards say you ensure your success. Not knowing exactly how everything will unfold, and not by waiting until you're completely fearless. You build your career one practical, intentional step at a time, and you allow yourself to become more capable along the way. Let's take a look at the wisdom of the oracle and see what other tidbits of wisdom that this deck can give to you regarding what you can do to ensure you are successful in your career. The wisdom of the oracle adds to this spread, tick tock, tick tock. This means you need to be looking at yourself and looking at what you do have and what you can do, and then take action on it. Don't just sit and wish and wonder if you have what is necessary. The next card that we pull is yin. We have the yin energy. The yin energy says be compassionate with yourself. Be kind with yourself while you're striving. And finally, the last card that I'm getting to says come to the edge. Come to the edge of where you're at and jump and take your chances and have faith that what you accomplish in your career is just around the corner. This is what these cards have to say for you today regarding what can you do to ensure you are successful in your career. I hope this has helped you in that answering that question. And if you liked what you heard today, visit me for a reading on my website, rxpandora.com. Hi, thank you for stopping by my channel. I really appreciate it. I enjoyed reading for you, and I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. If so, would you please press the like button, the subscribe button, and that little bell icon so you never miss a little reading from me? Because one thing's for sure, I don't want to miss you. So go ahead, press those buttons, and thank you for stopping at my channel.